Hi, this is Venus from Heart's Desire by Venus, and today we are working on part 7 of our Let's Make a Hybrid journal. So in the last video, we created a fin here, and then we did a fin base page back here. So today I'm going to show you how to put a few add-ons into this, and we'll decorate up the pages. So I'm just going to move that. Actually, not very far though. So here's what I like to do for making little add-ons. Now, in most kits that we get, you get all these pictures, these extras, you know, postcards, journal cards, tags. And yeah, great. I use them as ephemera, but sometimes I have a lot of these left over. And this is kind of what I like to do with them. As I'm putting little parts on here, I want to make sure I can use these up on here. So we're going to put a couple of flips on the front here that are going to fit these items on here. I mean, what's the point of cutting down a big piece of paper when you've got a perfect size here, and we can actually incorporate it into our designs. So what I'm going to do is we're going to start with this one, because this one is the easiest to start with. So basically, I'm going to cut this one out of the kit. Now again, if you're looking for this kit, please just go down into my comments there. The kit is listed there. So, and anything that I'm using, any specialty items that I'm using, I do put down in my comments there so that you can see them. So I'm just going to trim this out, and this is more for me, just the way I want to work it. So this is how big it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on a flip. So I need to know exactly what size. Excuse me. It's a little dry this morning. Sorry about that. So I'm going to put it on a flip out. And my flip out is going to be this way up. So I've got lots of scrap papers that we've been using here, which this one will fit once I cut it down. Actually, just make sure I don't have a smaller one. Perfect. Got a smaller one. All right, so this one is exactly 3 1/4. So I'm going to make this 3 1/2 wide, because I want to give myself a 1/4 inch around. And this one is, let me see here. This one is 4 3/4. So I'm going to actually just give this one 4 3/4. I'm going to cut this to 5. Oh, but wait. Yes. Okay, so this one is 4 3/4. So we're going to cut it to 5 high. That's allowing enough matting space. And then this one, I said, was just a hair over 3. So we're going to do just 3 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 and 4. That wouldn't make sense. We're going to do 3 3/8 so that it's just a bit bigger. And we're going to score it there because we want to be able to add this into our book as a flap. So, double checking again. After my last few videos, I want to definitely make sure. Okay, so now we're going to score it. We're going to slide that over and for 1/2 inch, because I want a 1/2 inch flap. I know some people will probably say that's overkill, but for me, I like to have enough security in there that, you know, enough spots to glue it in and not come out. So I'm just going to burnish it. And this is the time here to ink it up on both sides. That flap is not going to be seen because it's going to go underneath the main mat of the page. We're going to hide that all away, but this part is going to be seen. So we're just going to ink it up. Again, if you use colored cardstock, you wouldn't have to. If you don't want to ink it, you don't have to. I'm just an inking fool here. I just love it. Okay, and before I put it in the book, I'm going to tape. So I'm going to put it in like this. So I'm going to run my tape on the back side here. And I will tape and glue, of course, just so it's extra secure. Okay, so it's going to go in that way. And I'm going to mat this here before I do anything else. So I'm going to distress this as well, all the way around. And we're going to, same thing, going to tape. Make sure I'm in screen this morning. Oh, got my camera way up there. There we go. So you can actually see what I'm doing. Okay. Remove my tape. And where did I put my glue? Get my glue on there. Come on, glue. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to mat that on. I mean, you could mat these all after, but I've got it right here, and I just don't want to lose it in the mess of my desk right now. So we're just going to do that. So now we're going to attach this in here. I'll mat the other side later, but so this page here is going to be matted. So that's why I wasn't too worried about inking the hinge. But I'm going to put this one, I want this one to be kind of down here. So we're going to peel it off. That hinge, glue it. Ugh, got some glue on me already this morning. Run a bead down and glue it to where you want. I want it not quite at the bottom. And remember, don't go over that hinge because you don't want it to be in the way. So I'm going to glue it there. So you can see how you can use lots of these little journaling cards and tags in there. It's and then it's already pre-made. It's like perfect sizing and all that. So now we are going to do, where did I put it? The other one. So I want to put one of these up here as well for an added feature. Now you can see it's a little longer than my page, so I'm just going to trim it down a little bit. So I'm going to use this mushroom one here. And I'm just going to cut it out. Move all my stuff out of the way. Cut it out. Leave the rest of those for other pages. Trim this out. And let's see here. We're going to measure how wide I need this to be because you don't want to go over again. So it has to be less than 5 inches across. So that is doable. Okay. So let's just trim our postcard right now so we don't get confused later. I'm just going to trim it down. And because I want it to be less than 5, I'm going to trim it 4 3/4. Still leaving the image mostly on the other side. I think that'll be fine. Perfect. 4 3/4. So now we're going to cut a piece again, 1/4 inch all the way around, bigger than this, adding a 1/2 inch flap on the side. So we need our piece to be then, so we cut this at 4 3/4. We need this to be 5 1/4 wide. And what have I got? 5.25 wide, but don't forget we got to put our 1/2 inch. And this one I've already got a, oh, there we go. Oh, there's a good piece. 5.25 wide. And I'm going to score it so that we can get our 1/2 inch flap part in there. 5.25, and then we're going to add a 1/2 inch, so then that brings us up to 5.75, and this is where we're going to cut it off. Okay, now this one is 3.5 wide, so it's 3.5 tall, sorry. Perfect, we're going to go 3.5 tall. Hopefully I measured right. And no, because it's 3.5 tall, I needed to go 4 inches tall. So let's do that again. I've only had 1 cup of coffee this morning. Clearly I need to have more. All right, so let's try that again. It is going to be at 5.25 wide with a 1/2 inch here. 5.25. We're going to score it at a 1/2 inch. Oh, this is good practice. And then move it over 1/2 inch and cut it off. So that puts us at 5.75. Okay, so it's 3.5 wide. So we need to add a 1/2 inch for a 1/4 inch on the side. So that puts it at 4. So let's do this properly. At 4. Yay! All right. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. So again, like the other one, I'm going to furnish it. And it's going to go in the book this way, flap down. So I'm just going to tape that flap right now. Some tape. And then we're going to ink all the way around the edges. Again, both sides. This one here. And on this side. And this is where you could get fancy if you wanted to. You know, you could clip the corners, decorative corners, punch the edges. Sky's the limit. I'm just keeping this simple today for the tutorial's sake. Okay, so it's going to go in that way. This one's going to go in here. So excuse me, we're going to ink this up as well. All right, and we're going to tape and glue that sucker in. All right, get that going. And I'll just do one in the middle. Okay, make sure your tape is on good, and then we'll glue. Excellent. And out comes a handy dandy glue. All right. And let's just center. Perfect. Okay, so now we're going to put this flap in the book. And this one is going to be made to go over here. Perfect. And this one I'm going to, you could mat it right up on top, or you could do it inside. But I've taped it so it's going right on top. And that's kind of the feel I want to have go on here. Yeah, because this one's going to go above this one. Okay, so we're going to peel it off. And we're going to glue it as well. And we're just going to line it up near the top here. Making sure we're even. All right. So then that part will go underneath. That part will go up top. Perfect. All right. So now we are going to mat this part in here. So let's just measure to make sure what we got. So it's 5 across. So I'm just going to write my note down here. So we need to do it a 1/4 inch smaller. So we're going to do 4 3/4 inches wide. And what do we got here? This is 8 1/2 tall. So we're going to do 8 1/4 high. Okay. Easy peasy. So let's move this out of the way and let's go to our paper selection here. So I did some fairies and stuff on there. I'm just trying to find one that I really like here to work with it. I think I've got a couple here. You know what? I think I like this one here. So we're going to use this one. Put it in there. All right. So we need it 4 3/4 wide. So 4 3/4 wide. Cutting that butterfly off a little bit. Can't be helped, but that's okay. We can alter that part later. 4 3/4 wide. Cool. Save that. And then I need it 8 1/4 high. And I want to keep this image here as much as I can. So we're just going to line it up here. 8 1/4. It's just taking off a little sliver. Perfect. All right, so let's just see how that mat will sit. So it's going to sit perfectly in there. So now what I'm going to do is, you can tell, we're going to see these a little bit on the inside. So I'm just going to distress these a little, take away that sharpness. Okay, so let's just see again how this will look. Inevitably, once we get this in here, it'll be perfect like that. Got that. Oops, it's going to be that flap and that flap. Okay, so I'm going to ink this up, and I'm also going to stitch at this point all the way around on here, and I'll be back. All right, so you can see I've inked and I've stitched, and now we're going to tape and glue. Where is my wider tape? Find that one. All right, so we're going to tape and glue on here. Just get my wider tape out. Makes it a little easier. And again, you don't have to stitch. I'm just like to. Okay. Tape this all up. One down the middle. Okay. And we're just going to get that there. Let's lift this up. hopefully you are enjoying this and you are working along on your own version of this. Please go on over to my Facebook site if you are. I'm posting pieces as I'm going on there, and I would love to see how your results are going. It's always amazing. Even if you're using the same kit, I still like to see, because it's amazing your interpretation of the kit and how you use it. But again, it's nice to see this in other papers as well. So please go on over there. It's Heart's Desire by Venus on Facebook, and add what you're doing. All right, so we're going to glue this in. We'll make sure we're gluing it in the right way up as well. Move that and that. Get it in there, and we're going to just center this up. Perfect. Okay. Perfect. So now we're going to work on the back parts here. So again, we're going to use things out of the kits that in ways that you might not have thought about it before. Let's see what we got here. We have got, perfect. So we've got these half pockets here. So I'm going to mat and then put one of these half pockets on this side here, I think. And then what are we going to do on this side? I think we're just going to mat. Let's just see here. I'm trying to find some more of the kits. I just print out everything on the kits, and then I just figure out how to use them after. Actually, I think this one came with one of these. All right, let's just focus. We'll do this one here first with the half pocket and a mat, okay? So we did have some scraps already. And again, this is where I like to get my scraps out here. So this was an offcut from the back part here. So we're going to just see if we can use this up. And look at that. It's perfect. We're just going to cut off about a ½ inch on here. And then that works perfectly. Slide that over. Let's just cut off a ½ inch here. All right, ½ inch should do her. And this is why I like to keep my scraps. Ooh, knock that over. This is why I like to keep my scraps right on my table here as I'm working, because you know what? They come in handy. Let's see here. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Okay. So we are going to ink this up. Ink it up here. And let's see which pocket looks best with this. I don't think I need the baby deer or the critters. You know what? I'm going to use this one with the fruit. So let's cut. Move that out of the way. Let's just cut this guy off. Ooh, my blades are flying. Okay, so we're just going to cut this out here. Save those pieces for later. Let's just cut this one out. Save that for later. All right, cut that off. Let's just make sure this is going to, look at that. Perfect. It's just a little smaller, which I'm okay with. So we're going to cut out, I wonder if my punch is big enough. Let's just see here. I've got a whale punch. Now, to cut this little circle out, I could freehand it. I'm not very good at that. So I'm going to use my whale punch here. It's a, this one is what? A 1 3/8 circle punch. It's from Stampin' Up. I mean, there's so many companies. And I use it in reverse. I know everybody's like, what? I use it in reverse so that I can actually see where I'm going. Now, I'm not going to do it quite in half. I'm doing it 3/4. Just going to punch it out. It's way neater than I could ever possibly cut in a million years. Okay, so now we're going to ink this one up. I'm just watching my time here and get this inked up. All right, so I'm going to attach this on and I'm going to stitch all the way around this pocket and then I'll be back. Okay, so I did some crazy stitching around. I attached my pocket here, inked it, taped it up, and we are going to glue it into position here. Just going to remove my tape. I just realized the time. I'm going to have to cut this short today, but this will give you a start anyways. I'm going to be late for my other job at the fabric store, so that's my problem. I get down here, I'm having so much fun, I forget I actually have to go to my other job. So let's get this glued in here. Make sure we glue it in the right direction. Left all the little strings hanging, which is perfect. I like that look. So there we go. We've got a little pocket on here. We've got our main flap there and this one here. So that's where I'm going to end it today. Next time we come back, we will finish. I'll show you something else to do for this side here. And maybe we will tackle the insert. All right. Thank you. Don't forget to hit that like button. And don't forget to join me on my Facebook group. And let's see what you are creating. Thanks again. Have a great day.